Okay, so now we are going to run our first Azure DevOps pipeline, which will create the requirements for Azure Virtual Desktop as we have it here in our proof of concept. And, the requirements or the basics that you need to place your resources into Azure is often referred to as landing zone. And I just shown you the task in Azure DevOps. And here is our pipeline that reflects the work item that we've just seen before. And if you click on run, you just need to specify the domain admin account here. So don't use admin or administrator because Azure won't like that. And use a strong password. See that in the GitHub repository in the description. Sometimes you may end up with an error here saying that the environment has not been provisioned. Shouldn't be the case on your system. However, if it is, just go to your environments and create the environment that it was mentioning in the error. So it's just an easy task, like put in the name that you've seen before in the error, say none for resources that you want to add to that environment, and then you're all set, and then you can relaunch the pipeline again. Environments are are quite handy because the deployments you do are against an environment or can be flagged to run against an environment, and you can track all the things that happened in this environment, right? That's quite handy. So now I'm going to have specified the admin account and the password, a strong password, and now the pipeline launches. And there's quite some steps to do for Azure DevOps, which you can see here. They are run in sequence. You see the time, how long it takes to finish that task. And it's also quite interesting to have a look on what's happening on the Azure side. So what I'm doing is in parallel, I'll open up another window going into the subscription that I use to deploy to, which is basically my environment, my Azure environment. And the first thing that is going to be created are the resource groups. You'll see them here. Be a little bit patient, do some refreshes because the browser tends to cache things here. And then the first thing happens, or the first things for this pipeline happens in the shared resource group. It will get the resources needed for our deployment here. And there are some requirements for Azure Virtual Desktop. They tend to be more. Now it's a little bit easier with Azure Virtual Desktop, but in former times it was required to have a domain controller because the desktops are doing a domain join. You could do so without now, but still I expect a lot of people, hosting client and server applications that need Kerberos tickets, and it's not so easy to do that. So what I'm showing here, a lot of stuff is being provisioned through the Azure DevOps pipeline. Play a little bit around. We've just been in the storage account, and the storage account is for me, or for the deployment, a repository for scripts that will make a virtual machine a domain controller, or install software parts, download stuff. These scripts are PowerShell scripts. They need to be stored somewhere, and that's the storage account. So right now we are in the section of creating the virtual machine that is going to be the domain controller, right? That takes some time, so I speeded that up. After you're creating the domain, and that's done automatically as well, you'll need to reboot. Then I'll create the jumphost, which is also domain joined. And once they are finished, I will do some customization. And customization within virtual machines in Azure can be done using custom script extensions. So let me jump into the section here. I'll go to the jumphost, right? No, I'm going to the domain controller, sorry about that. And now I'll have a look into the extensions, and you see that domain controller install has been done using a custom script extension, a PowerShell script extension that was uploaded to the storage account. This makes up the contoso.local. and I'm doing some further parts, customizing, installing some software parts, and after a while our deployment has been finished. Speeded it up, and you see, once done, after around about half an hour, you will have the details in your environment. Okay, that's that.